Ladies and gentlemen, this is the face of a liar. This is the former Louisville police officer, Brett Hankinson, that lied on Breonna Taylor having drugs at her apartment, lied to a judge to get the warrant, and lied to the feds when he was questioned about the whole thing. The drug scenario was made up in his half witted head. He didn't find drugs in Breonna Taylor's apartment or her former boyfriend, who they claim was such a big drug dealer, found no drugs on him either. So he's been charged, ladies and gentlemen, for his role in firing into Breonna Taylor's apartment. So he testified this past Thursday and claimed that he reacted quickly after fellow officer was shot in the leg during the drug raid. And there are many that say that shot came from another police officer and not Kenneth Walker. So Brett Hankinson said he saw a muzzle flash come from inside Taylor's hallway after officers knocked down the door in early morning hours of March 13th, 2020 to execute a search warrant. Now, didn't they say they announced themselves? Remember when this first happened and people were saying, why did you have a no knock warrant? They claimed, although they had the no knock warrant, they announced themselves. Well, he sure didn't say that in his testimony. They knocked down the door. Then he goes on to say he testified he believed it sounded like an assault rifle. So he moved to the side of Taylor's apartment and fired shots into a sliding glass door and window. I had to react, Hankinson said on the witness stand in U.S. District Court Thursday. I had no choice. No, you had a choice. You didn't have to make up no drug scenario, a fake drug story to get this whole thing kicked off. This man made the whole thing up. So Taylor's boyfriend had fired a single shot at officers after they came through the door, and two officers at the entry returned fire, striking and killing Taylor in the hallway of her apartment. While no one was hit by the 10 shots fired, prosecutors argued Hankinson was shooting erratically without identifying a target. Some of his gunshots went into an occupied neighbor apartment, which was right above Breonna Taylor. Hankinson said he moved away from the entry door, rounded the corner of the apartment, and sprayed bullets into a side window and sliding glass door because he believed a shooter was advancing on officers in the doorway. This man is just making stuff up. He's just making stuff up. So anyway, he said he believed officers were taking automatic gunfire and were trapped. So he knew all of that from the outside without even going in. He knew all of that. The officer at the door fired a combined 22 shots after Taylor's boyfriend fired one single round. It sound like he was it says it sounds like he was walking up on us, like he was executing the other officers. You hear how melodramatic this dude is sounding on the stand? It's his fault that everybody went over there in the first place. None of this would have happened if he didn't lie and make stuff up about drugs being at Breonna Taylor's apartment. You look completely stupid when drugs weren't found. at her location or her ex-boyfriend's location. Didn't find drugs anywhere. So, Hankinson, 47, has been charged with 2 federal civil rights violations for endangering Taylor, her boyfriend, and Taylor's neighbor, who shared a wall with her apartment. He faces a maximum sentence of life in prison. He deserves a life sentence for what he did. Federal prosecutors. Now, y'all, let me just explain something. Whenever people go on trial in federal court, there is no video of it. Now, if he was at the state level testifying, I would be able to show you that. But on the federal level, they don't allow video recordings to go public. All right, so federal prosecutors are attempting to do what Kentucky prosecutors couldn't, and that's because of Daniel Cameron obstructing the entire investigation on these cops. That's why the feds had to step in, and Daniel Cameron, in my opinion, should be charged. I don't know why he's being left out for his role in this entire thing. All right. Convict Hankinson, for his actions on the night of Taylor's, a 26-year-old black woman was shot to death. He was acquitted by a jury. Remember the grand jury last year that Daniel Cameron put together, but Breonna Taylor was excluded, and the only thing he spoke to this jury about was the neighbor's apartment above her getting shot into, and he was on trial not for the shooting death of Breonna Taylor, but wanton endangerment charges. I know many of you remember that. Prosecutors at this trial have argued Hankinson did not follow police use of force policy when he decided to fire through Taylor's window and sliding glass door. When his attorney was inquiring about that, he said he didn't have time to think about a policy. All right, so he goes on to say you're acting to save lives or not acting, and people are going to die, Hankinson said. Yeah, and it's all your fault if they do die. And he's definitely responsible for Breonna Taylor's death. Hankinson said he feels horrible about Taylor's death and that it was tragic for a lot of people and a lot of families. Her death, along with George Floyd's, at the hands of police officers, sparked weeks of protest over police brutality in the summer of 2020. I don't care how horrible he feels. Him feeling horrible does nothing for Breonna Taylor's family. Screw this man feeling horrible. So, anyway, Hankinson was also critical of the warrant, saying that he and the other officers should have never been sent to her apartment that night. No, Breonna Taylor is dead for absolutely no legitimate reason. She lost her life for nothing. The Taylor warrant was one of 5 served simultaneously the night she was killed, part of a wide-ranging narcotic operation targeting a known drug dealer. The dealer was located in another part of town, but had previously had a relationship with Taylor. 3 of other officers involved in drawing up the warrant have been charged in a separate federal case. One of them is Kelly Goodlett, has pled guilty. Now, she pled guilty, but she is the one that provided all of the information about the entire raid was falsified. So she was able to make a plea deal. And in exchange, she's turning on those other officers and telling what really happened. So Kelly Goodlett, she should be testifying, maybe not so much in this trial, but the trial to come. You're going to hear a lot from her. So anyway, she has pled guilty and is expected to testify against former detective Joshua James and Kyle Meany in their trials next year. The former Louisville officer shot by Taylor's boyfriend during the raid, Jonathan Mattingly, also testified Thursday, saying he was standing in front of the door when it opened and he saw a muzzle flash in the dark. He said he saw two figures at the end of the hallway before he was shot. Mattingly, who retired from the police force in 2021, said he couldn't tell where Hankinson was standing when the shots started, but he heard a barrage of gunfire at the side of the building. Yeah, and all of that gunfire was coming from the police. It was not coming from Kenneth Walker. He only shot one round off. This is what they're claiming. And the thing is, he was the only one charged. He was the only one charged, thanks to Daniel Cameron. Hankinson testimony will continue in federal court Monday, this coming Monday. So, y'all, I mean, my heart goes out to Breonna Taylor's family. This got to be very difficult for them to listen to all of this. And it's almost like they are listening to her get killed all over again in court. Unbelievable. But, there are people out here in America that believe these cops should always be trusted. They should be trusted. We should, give their investigation time to unfold. Why? When they have proven time and time again they are the most untrustworthy, unreliable killers on the street. Your cops are just straight up murderers. And Breonna Taylor is one of many reasons why people do not trust your cops. You could make us trust your cops even if we were drunk. Y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Him and the other officers that took part in this lie should all go down. There should be nothing less than a life sentence. If Breonna Taylor cannot get up and live her life every day in peace, they shouldn't either. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.